Meeting for Monday, January 13th, 2020. Jordan, can I get a roll call from you, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Here.
Ronayne,
Here.
Lunsman,
Here.
Rife,
Here.
Johnson,
Here.
Bunceness,
Here.
Olson,
Here.
Rux,
Here.
Mayor Shoneman.
Here. Please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First order of business will be to approve last week's minutes for Monday, January 6th, 2020. Can I get a motion to do so?
Moved. Second.
Got a motion from Bunceness and a second from Olson. All in favor, please start. Actually, we need roll calls here tonight. Jordan, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Here.
Olson.
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Here. Aye.
Mayor Leibson.
Here.
Or sorry, excuse me, Mayor Shoneman.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we've got open forum. Since we've got no attendees willing to speak here tonight, we'll move right along to the consent calendar. Possible approval of items A, B, and C. Can I get a motion to approve these consent calendar items, please?
So moved. Second.
Got a motion from Rux and a second from Remley. Jordan, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got new business item A, request to declare abandoned vehicles to be surplus property and to direct the disposal of such vehicles according to state law. Possible approval of resolution 200101R, declaring the abandoned vehicles surplus property for disposal. Ron, tell us about that.
Thank you, Mayor. We are continuing the process of declaring abandoned vehicles for the impound lot. By our estimate, we are over a dozen now vehicles that will be approved in the last several months. And this will reduce the impound lot by approximately half the number of vehicles in there. So we're making really good improvement on that. So we request that the council approve the resolution surplusing these abandoned vehicles.
Moved. Second.
Got a motion from Bunceness and a second from Remley. Does anyone have any questions about this topic or discussion points before we take a vote?
Are those sold at that point? Or what do you?
They will be sold at the spring auction, I believe, with other surplus property. So could be a good one this time.
There you go.
So you're on a rusty minivan, Josh.
We have two houses coming up for sale too.
Rusty minivan and a dilapidated house. It's a whole new start for you. Jordan, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got high bid on surplus real property described as Lot 1 in M&M Second Subdivision to the City of Aberdeen. Possible approval to accept the high bid of C&J Holdings LLC in the amount of $7,500 and to authorize city manager to execute documents necessary to conclude the sale of real property upon terms and conditions set forth in the invitation to bid notice of sale. Ron, can you tell us about that one, please?
I can, Mayor. This is hopefully we're at the 1 yard line of resolving some property that's been vexing the city for years. Some property that was kind of secluded in a commercial area. We are now having been able to finally clear up a lot and pull it all together in plat. We had it surplus last, I believe last, gosh, I don't have it when it was surplus, but we surplused that property recently, and we were able to get two bids on the property, and we'd ask the council approve the high bid of $7,500 to C&J Holdings.
Move to approve.
Second.
A motion from Johnson and a second from Rux to approve and accept the bid. Does anyone have any questions for the city attorney while we've got him on this topic? Otherwise, Jordan, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shoneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got a hearing on the transfer of retail on-off sale malt beverage and South Dakota farm wine license, including video lottery from I-90 Fuel Services Incorporated, DBA Starlight Truck Stop, to Holiday Station Stores LLC, DBA Holiday Station Store at 602 South Highway 281. Can I get, does anyone have anything to present about this? Otherwise, we will just take a vote on the matter. Can I get a motion?
Move. Second.
A motion from Olson and a second one from Remley. Does anyone have any questions or discussion on transferring this malt beverage license before we take a vote? Otherwise, Jordan, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Lundesman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the request for property tax abatements for property in the city limits. Possible approval of the abatement as requested in the total amount of $3,431.96, with the city share being $1,083.99. Since Carl is not here today, Jordan, I'm going to ask you to explain that to us, please.
Sure, these were submitted by the county assessor, and they will go to the county commission tomorrow for approval. These are coming from the recommendation of county staff.
Can I get a motion on?
Moved.
Second.
A motion from Bunceness and a second from Remley. Does anyone have any questions while it's up? Otherwise, Jordan, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Remley.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Lundesman.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bunceness. Olson.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request to purchase a 2021 Type 3 Horton ambulance from Premier Specialty Vehicles of Fergus Falls, Minnesota, through the North Central EMS Cooperative. Possible approval to purchase the ambulance from Premier in the amount of $166,876 and declare surplus a 2009 Ford Type 3 ambulance to be used as the trade-in value for the new ambulance. Randy, are you going to tell us about that?
Good evening.
Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, we're just getting rid of our 2009 and getting another new one. So basically the exact same what we had 2 years ago.
So,
Chief, is that 166? Does that include the trade-in?
That does include the trade-in, correct?
Okay.
That's what we will pay. Trade-in was $26,000.
Okay.
So does the 166 include auto start?
Nope.
Okay,
I remember,
They're in a heated
I
garage.
remember that from a past meeting that was brought up.
thank
It's
you.
always warm in the station.
yeah, stored indoors.
That's actually funny. I did think of that.
Question, of course, you're replacing a 2009, but I still see you still have the four-wheel drive ambulance.
1997?
1997 ambulance.
Yep.
That,
And it's got like 8,000 miles on it, and we just use it for the blizzards, and it works perfect. So I see no reason to get rid of it.
Move approval.
second.
Got a motion from Remley and a second from Rux. Does anyone else have any discussion on this topic, or else we'll take a roll call vote? Jordan?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Wright.
Aye.
Lundesman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Aye.
Remley.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Next, we've got Resolution 20-0102R to declare two 2008 Bobcat skid steer surplus property to be disposed of as allowed by law. Possible approval of resolution. Rich, you're here to tell us about that. Tell us about these skid steers.
Good evening. They're two 2008 skid steers. These were acquired under AIP 46-00127. All of our grant requirements have been met, and the FAA and the state have no further financial interests in these units. So they're tired.
Lynn, what have you got?
You should know that we will receive second benefit out of them. The fire department was in need of one, and so they'll be transferred over as to what the trade-in value is, and so we'll get second value out of it.
Move for approval.
Second.
Sounds good. Thank you. Motion Johnson, second Reif. Jordan, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Landsman.
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Rux,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the request to purchase two-wheeled skid steer. Actually, all these things could have been. Never mind, we'll treat them as separate. Request to purchase two-wheeled skid loaders through Sourcewell. Possible approval to purchase two-wheeled skid loaders through DMI through Sourcewell and authorized payment in the amount of $93,648 to DMI for the purchase of the loaders. Rich, you gonna tell us about that one?
Yep, these are two JCB skid steers, and the advantage to going through Sourcewell rather than an open bidding process where you could end up with any machine. By going through Sourcewell, we're able to get the machines that we really want. We did demo 4 machines from local vendors, and the guys preferred the JCB machines.
Move to approve. Second.
Got a motion from Johnson and a second from Remley. And in terms of dollars and cents, it was relatively comparable to other models that were out there
Correct.
that you guys took a look at. Does anyone have any questions for Rich before we take a vote on this purchase? Otherwise, Jordan, can I get a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Landsman.
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got 3 payments for the airport improvement project. Payment 15, AIP 3-4600140, 2019, taxiway C to Helms and Associates for the amount of $2,582.41. We've got a second payment of number 17, AIP 3-4600139, 2018, for the master layout plans, also to Helms and Associates for $21,428.21. Possible approval and authorization of the city manager to sign the payment request to Helms and Associates for the work on the airport improvement projects. Rich, tell us about those payments, please.
Yeah, Taxiway Charlie, Taxiway C, the first one you read off, Mayor, would be AIP number 40. We're moving along on that. We had a pre-construction meeting last Thursday after our board meeting, so things are moving in the right direction there. We're gonna start seeing some material stockpiled on site. Airport master plan, Kim Kenville, one of our planners, came and presented to the airport board last Thursday at our regular meeting. We're moving forward with that. We're gonna start having some public meetings across the street in the public safety building. So we'll get those advertised. You'll see those public meetings sometime in February. We're trying to figure out some dates that gel with everybody.
Thank you, Rich. Can I get a motion for that, please?
Moved.
Second.
Motion from Bunceness and a second from Lunsman. Could I get a roll call vote, Jordan?
Councilmember Remley,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Landsman.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Rux.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye, motion does carry. Next, we've got the approval of the bill list for January 13th, 2020. In addition to the ones that you see on the screen, we've got a bill for Matheson Trigas Incorporated in the amount of $1,080.64 for harnesses and lanyards and so forth. Can I get a motion to pay this week's bills, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
Got a motion from Remley and a second from Olson. Do we have any questions as it relates to any of the bills listed on your screen? Otherwise, Jordan, give me a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson.
Aye.
Bunceness.
Abstain.
Johnson.
Aye.
Rife.
Aye.
Landsman.
Aye.
Ronayne.
Abstention.
Remley.
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Abstain. Motion does carry. Next, we've got the city manager's report. Lynn, what have you got for us tonight?
I have 2 items tonight I would like to highlight on my city manager's report. Robin, would you be kind enough to flip to my computer? Okay, thank you. The first item deals with softball complex important dates, and I just wanted to highlight this because this is going to be before you in the near future. On February 5th, I expect the park board to approve the project concept for the softball expansion. From there, I made arrangements for Mark to come in on February 10th, where him and Helmets and Engineering will come in to explain and seek support of the project from the City Council. if in fact you support it, then on February 17th, the city council will need to approve the first reading of an ordinance authorizing the issuance of bonds, and then a second reading on February 24th. And then it would be published on February 27th, and then we'd wait a minimum of 20 days, and after a minimum of 20 days, from that point, we'd probably solicit bids. So I just want you to know, in February, it's going to be a hot month for the softball complex. I did give you within my report the softball complex sources and use of funds, just to kind of give you a preliminary of what you can expect to come in, and so it'll help you prepare for questions. And are there any questions within that particular subject?
So who's responsible for the shortfall?
That would go back to the park board or park administration telling us what they're going to do. In the past, it's been their desire to do naming rights to pay for the shortfall.
What would $50,000 in cuts to their second penny sales tax, how would that affect their parks program and the improvements and upkeep they can do in the parks?
That would be for an answer. That would be for
If he
you
could
to
have
ask them that.
If he could have a list of what he's cutting to achieve that, that would be great also.
Okay. Okay. The second item, I've already started working on the budget for 2021, and I ran across some information I thought you might be interested in it, and it was called Property Tax Table Comparison, State Index Figure versus Growth. Every year, South Dakota law imposes limitations where the city tax levy can only increase no more than the lesser of 3% or the index factor plus new value from property improvements to determine the maximum revenue to be raised by taxation. And let me see if I can't come to that, if I can get my report there. Well, the sheet's not coming up for me.
Do you need to scroll left?
And scroll left.
No, it's still loading or something.
Oh, it's clear down here. Okay. All right. Boy. I want the demo. Oh, there it is.
Still loading.
Like
Didn't
the
we-
meme with the fishing guy. And he's got the salad on it.
Patience.
Oh, there it is. Okay, so what I did is I showed you an 8-year comparison showing what the index factor was. And keep in mind that index factor is calculated by adding the most recent annual percentage change to consumer price index for urban wage earners and clerical workers as computed by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So they'll tell us each year what our maximum levy is. And then in addition to that maximum levy, we get the growth factor. Well, through an 8-year period, the South Dakota index factor has been an average of 1.75. You can see a couple of years, like in 2017, it was 0. 2018, it was 1%. 2019, it was 2.10%. And then for 2020, it was 2.4%. So you can see that it's not a large figure, and it does have significant impact when we're doing the budget when we end up with a 0 index sometimes. So it tells us the only growth that we're going to get from property tax is new value. So what I did is I showed you a comparison of that index factor for the last 8-year period, and as I stated, the 8-year average of that was 1.75. Then if you look at the total increase, that shows what that index factor was plus the property growth. And so, for example, in year 2013, the property growth was larger than the index factor. Likewise, if you go through, and I think if you look at every year, the property growth has been greater than the index factor. So when you take the property growth, it's given us new revenue amounts of up to 4.10%, where if we would have had to be held just to the index factor, it would have been 1.75%. And so what I did is I took and broke that out. When I went down to the very bottom of the page, it shows, what portion of it relates to the index factor of your total revenue and what portion of it relates to the growth factor. And 57% of our new revenues have been related to the growth factor and only 43% related to the index factor. So it just shows you how important growth of the community is. And not only does this benefit the city, but it benefits the county as well as the school district too, as far as these new values. And so growth of the community is important from what I would call a revenue perspective to the city to continue to meet demands of the city. I don't know if you find that interesting, but I was playing with these figures one day and I thought you should see how important growth of the city is. And I commend Brett's department for, working through the growth of the city, on building permits and everything like that.
Thanks for outlining that, Lynn. It looks good. Keep building things, guys. Anybody else have anything to add before we move to adjourn this meeting?
Move to adjourn.
Otherwise, we've
Second.
got a motion from Rumley and a second from Bunceness to adjourn. Since we've got a member on the telephone, Jordan, why don't you give us one final roll call vote for the evening?
Councilmember Rux,
Aye.
Olson,
Aye.
Bunceness,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Rife,
Aye.
Lunsman,
Aye.
Ronayne,
Aye.
Remley,
Aye.
Mayor Shonneman.
Aye. We are adjourned.